plateaus happen to everyone. Every single person is going to experience a plateau at one point or another within their fat loss journey. So it's just knowing that it's coming, you're in one, and making adjustments and making changes so that you can move out of that plateau. Okay, so don't continue doing the same things over and over and over and over again and expect a different result. Even if those things worked for you to get you to that point, it's not or may not be the same thing that's going to get you to your next point. But I do have some tips for you if you think that you're in a plateau, no matter what you are doing, and even if you think you're doing everything right to help you get that scale moving again. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ashley Salvatori, and if you're new here, be sure you hit that subscribe button. And today we are talking about plateaus, how to bust past them. Many people don't actually know this. They think, well, the scale hasn't moved for a week, or I was losing consistently and then all of a sudden I only lost half a pound this week. Listen, the scale's going to go up and down throughout your journey. That is just going to happen, okay? So I've lost a considerable amount. Throughout that journey, the scale went up and down. It didn't go down all the time, but there was a downward trend. Okay, so there were some weeks where it wouldn't move at all. There were some weeks it went up a little bit and then it went down. The definition of a plateau is when your weight on the scale does not move for 3 months or more at a time. That is when you know you are in a plateau, because your body sometimes needs some time to catch up. So there's actually like a little 3-month window there where it might not even be a plateau that's causing your weight stall. The weight stall could be because you're building muscle and maintaining that muscle mass while you're losing fat. But I do have some tips for you if you think that you're in a plateau, no matter what you are doing, and even if you think you are doing everything right to help you get that scale moving again. Number 1 is going back to tracking macros. Most of the people who experience a plateau have stopped tracking macros. Either they're doing lazy keto, which personally I absolutely love once you get to your goal of this lifestyle, or for some people who just get completely overwhelmed with the whole macro thing, doing lazy keto is a great option, and I do have a video on that as well. But if you've been doing lazy keto and you find yourself stalled out for months at a time, you want to go back to what you did in the beginning that got you the amazing results that you had. And for most people, they were tracking on an app. That is one thing that can help you start getting the scale moving again, because there's such a thing called carb creep. And while you think you're doing everything right, you might be eating too many carbs, too high of carbs without realizing it. You could have carbs coming in from ways that you don't even know is happening. And you might be eating too much. So your calories might be way too high. And while calories don't matter as much with keto, they still matter. You cannot binge eat keto foods and expect to continue to lose on the scale. For long term, that can't happen. Literally, your body has to do something with the calories that it's consuming. It's either burning it or it's storing it. There's no other place for those calories to go. So that's one thing that I want you guys to do. If you're experiencing a stall right now, go back to tracking those macros. Number 2 is, are you exercising? So if you're doing this lifestyle and all of a sudden you find yourself in this situation, probably now you're in maintenance mode. So you've been 3 months not really moving on the scale. Your body's like, hey, I'm comfortable here. We're gonna maintain this. And what you're consuming and what you're expending as far as exercise goes is actually in balance with a maintenance regimen for your body. So you're maintaining. So let's say that you're not exercising right now and all of a sudden you're maintaining your weight and it's been 3 months plateaued, okay? You're in maintenance. If you start up exercising, you're gonna get things shifting again. And so it's a good idea for you to start that process. Maybe lifting some weights, adding in some Pilates, maybe doing some cardio, running, and doing that sort of thing. Those are all great things to help you start moving the scale. However, keep in mind, if you are someone who has been doing the ketogenic lifestyle and you just started working out, and maybe you had previously experienced a loss until you started working out, it's possible that you hit a plateau because you're brand new to working out. Now, I know this sounds completely opposite of what I just said, But as your body's making a shift and your body composition is making a shift from losing fat and muscle mass to now maintaining or building and growing that muscle mass through your workouts and losing fat, on the scale it can appear as if you don't have any progress. So just consider that, all right, did I start working out and lifting weights and doing these other things that could cause the scale to maybe go up while I'm losing the fat? Long term, this is a good idea because it's gonna shift and increase your metabolism so that you can burn more calories at resting. And also that lean muscle mass is amazing for getting to your ultimate goal and actually being firm and trim and looking amazing and feeling great. And it helps with your posture. There's a ton of benefits to it. So stick to the working out, but understand that the scale might have that stall unless you have not been working out at all and you've hit a plateau and you get started on working out. That can get it moving again, okay? In either situation, working out is a great idea. It's a good idea to work out with a ketogenic, low-carb, high-fat lifestyle. If you're doing way too much cardio, it's possible that you could be causing a cortisol spike. Cortisol does not do well with keto. A cortisol spike can raise your insulin. It can cause you to produce glucose internally. So what you want to do is strength training workouts, Pilates workouts, occasional cardio. It's really good to get that heart pumping and stuff. But if you're like doing way too much cardio, it could tip the other way. Okay, number 3, and this is a big one. How much alcohol are you drinking with your lifestyle? Are you drinking a glass of wine every night? Are you drinking 2 glasses of wine a night every once in a while? Are you drinking 4 glasses of wine in a day, 3 days a week? Like, this can happen to anyone. It can happen unexpectedly, and you might not even realize that you're consuming this much alcohol. But here's the thing, guys, when you consume alcohol, your liver, which is where your body converts the fat to ketones for fuel and burns the ketones, stops production of ketones to metabolize the toxin, which is in the alcohol, because everything has to stop to get the toxin out of your system. And so if you're doing this often, you could be stalling your progress. I've completely cut alcohol out of my lifestyle. It's so hard to do, guys. Believe me, it's so hard. And I can't even drink it in moderation because if I have one, there are signaling in your brain that goes off when you drink an alcoholic beverage, and even if you smell it or you're around it or you see it, and I'm not talking about being an alcoholic, I don't think I'm an alcoholic, but I've done enough research on alcohol and how it affects your brain and how it does become something that you can become addicted to. Right? Just like we can be addicted to food, we can be addicted to carbs, we can be addicted to sugar, you can also be addicted to alcohol without being like actually an alcoholic, which an alcoholic, it destroys, ruins their life. What I'm saying is, sometimes there are reasons to cut back on the alcohol that are not related to being an alcoholic, that is good for your health and also your liver, because do you realize you do damage to your liver every single drink that you drink? Every single one. And it takes 3 days of not drinking for your liver to start replacing cells and healing itself. So if you're always drinking within like 3 days, then you never actually allow your liver to do that. And so it's really, really good for you to stop drinking for a little bit and take a look at how much you have been drinking. You know, if you are someone who's like, you know what, every Friday night I'm going to have a glass of wine or 2 or 3, but the rest of the week I'm not drinking anything, and you can actually stick to that, that's fine. But another reason why alcohol is a problem for most people is they will drink and then it causes them to eat too many carbs when they have the alcohol in their system. Like they will take a bite of fry, they will eat things they wouldn't normally eat. And if this happens every single weekend, you are undoing the work you just did the entire week. And so it's not good for you to get into that cycle, to get into that habit, or to do that. Number 4, if you are currently intermittent fasting, try to bump your fasted window into the 18 or above mark. I also have a video where I talk about extended fasting and how those can help get past the plateau and that sort of thing. I'll put the link in the description. But if you've been fasting and doing intermittent fasting 3 to 5 to every day of the week, and you've been maybe going 16 hours fasted, try extending that up to 18 hours and doing the occasional 24-hour fast. This is really, really helpful to allow your body to utilize the food that you've already consumed and to start healing and rejuvenating the cells within your body. This is very, very helpful for giving your digestive system a break. And so, and allowing your body to actually start burning the stored fat that you have. And if you're currently doing a keto, low carb, high fat lifestyle and you're not intermittent fasting and you've experienced this type of plateau, start adding it in. Start slow, start with 12 hours, bump it up to 16 hours, and then try for 18, and then go for 24 if you can do it. And this will help you a lot, even if it's just 1 day a week to start, and then 2 days, and then 3 days, bump it up. If you're within the first 2 weeks of your ketogenic lifestyle, I don't recommend that you start intermittent fasting yet. Become fat adapted so it becomes a lot easier. You don't have those insulin spikes so that you can go longer distance without eating. Fifth thing you want to try out would be cutting out the dairy. So dairy can cause a lot of people to experience bloating, swelling, and it can stall some people, especially if the majority of your diet is dairy. Like if everything you're eating or the majority of it comes from cheese, which I do know a lot of people that they do this. They eat just a ton of cheese with their keto lifestyle, and then they wonder why they're stalled out. Try this. Try eliminating the cheese. One thing that works really, really well for me when I go in periods of getting rid of dairy, what I will do is I'll create an omelet and I will put guacamole. You make an omelet, you just put regular eggs. You put a couple eggs, 2, 3, 4 eggs. Whisk it up, put it down, put the guacamole in the center, fold it over, maybe put some capers on the top. Eat that, guys. I promise you, you will not miss the cheese. It's so good, and it's a very, very simple way to cut out the dairy, and at least cutting out one meal of your day that doesn't have dairy is very, very helpful for getting that scale moving again too. So one thing I want to mention is that plateaus happen to everyone. Every single person is going to experience a plateau at one point or another within their fat loss journey. So it's just knowing that it's coming, you're in one, and making adjustments and making changes so that you can move out of that plateau. Okay, so don't continue doing the same things over and over and over and over again and expect a different result. Even if those things worked for you to get you to that point, it's not or may not be the same thing that's going to get you to your next point. So maybe you really do need to move your macros around, adjust your calories, change some things in your lifestyle, like working out more or working out more in a different way. Like if you're primarily doing cardio, switching it up with the lifting weights, that sort of thing, adding in Pilates and stuff. You're going to experience it at some point. Don't give up. Do not let this be the reason to stop. And one thing that you can do to help you so that you don't give up is, and this is something that I did at the beginning of my journey, and I find it very, very successful for a lot of people, and that's picking up some sort of calendar. You can grab it at Target or wherever, Amazon, and writing in every day or creating a cross every day you do the right thing in your journey. So then what will happen is, let's say you've done 4 months of working out 5 days a week, eating right all of those days, staying within your low carb, high fat goals. Then if you have this feeling of giving up, you can look back on that calendar, especially if you put it somewhere you can see it every day, and you're gonna say, I worked too hard to give up now. If you just are going day by day, it's too easy to say, you know what, the scale's not moving, I'm eating this chocolate cake. I can guarantee you, it's too easy to say that. But when you actually look at the amount of work that you put into to get to where you are way less likely to give up on yourself and your goals. So I just shared a video about my friend Brittany's 80-pound transformation story, and I'll put that coming up next right after this video. If you're someone who's been stalled out, feeling defeated, feeling like you're not sure, you want to give up or whatever, watch her video. It's going to inspire you. And also check out my transformation video if you haven't seen that, of how I lost 60 pounds. I share so much of that journey in Instagram as well. So Follow me on Instagram, guys. Like, check out my stories. I put my workouts I do in there every day so you can be motivated to get off your butt and go work out too. Once again, if you're new here, be sure you hit that subscribe button. And I really hope that these tips helped you move beyond that plateau and you can get past this kind of season in your journey and get moving on again.